All right, joining me now inside the Rush Center for Coaches' Comments is head coach of the Stars, Cody Chupp. And Coach, your guys go out there and finish with 3 of a possible 4 points on the weekend and tie their season highs in goals tonight. Obviously, this was an interesting game at times, but one that your guys come out with a big result. What were your thoughts just from what transpired out there tonight?
Well, obviously in the first period, I thought it was evident that our power play was the difference, but what drew those penalties and allowed us to go on the power play was our pace and our pressure. You know, something we talked about last night. We eased into it a little bit and started to find our game in the second. I thought tonight we came out with a little bit more urgency in the first. We're able to draw a couple penalties there and capitalize. I mean, you know, you go 3 for 3 on the power play in the first period. Obviously, that's not something that's normal, but you know, credit to our guys. We had 3 separate power play units score a goal tonight, so it was a good night for our power play, but all around our game was solid throughout. I thought there were a couple really good pushes by Green Bay where we started to leak oil a little bit, but we found ways to regain the momentum and get back to our pressure in our game.
And touching off of that last point there, that second period, probably one of the more bizarre that I've seen. I can't speak for you, obviously, but shots, you know, obviously can be always a little bit adjusted one way or another, but we're heavily in favor of Green Bay. They come out pretty strong in the first 8 minutes or so. They get that early goal, and then you guys come back and score 3. Obviously, the period didn't end the way necessarily you wanted it to, but again, we've talked about it a lot on these broadcasts, but you know, the resolve, the response seemed to be there tonight, and that seemed to be there throughout. Is that encouraging, especially with a decent group of new players out there in your lineup?
Yeah, it is, and we talked about early in the week, you know, we're focused on the process and the how. You know, the results are to an extent they'll come, but our focus right now is the how and how we get there every single game and getting better every day and getting back to a team that's tough to play against, a team that plays with a little bit of grit, a team that finishes their checks and does things right and ultimately plays the game the right way. And, you know, I thought last night we talked, like I mentioned, we were probably 40 minutes of our brand. Tonight we were able to start the game the right way, and that was the difference, really. You know, that third goal in the first period, it's a bit of a backbreaker for Green Bay because you know, I'll be the first to tell you, it was how we came out of that with the power play is beyond me. But we did, and we were able to capitalize on it, and we've been on the flip side of that, and it's deflating for a group to disagree with a call strongly, and then to put one in right away or give up a goal against right away. It's tough, and a lot of times you forget that these are 16 to 20-year-old kids, so that is tough for them. On the flip side, you know, starting to roll a bit, getting up by a good margin, there's always a bit of a lull or a let-off, and it's the hardest thing to continue to push the pace and continue to do things right with urgency when, you know, you have a 3-4 goal lead. But you know, when Green Bay got their push, I was proud of our guys' effort to regain our momentum and regain the ability to tilt the ice.
And to that point again, Samuel Hlavaj comes out, has a strong first. That first half of that second period seemed like nothing was going to get through him until Perbix was able to get one through. And then again, it seemed like he, you know, as you said, there's a pushback there from Green Bay. They got a couple more past him, but then comes back in the third with another strong effort. We've talked a lot about him making adjustments, but tonight there was real stretches where it looked like he was in absolute control. Again, I know it's a team effort, and I know there's a lot of things that go into that with the defense as well, but just in general, are you seeing progress from him from night to night as he's now in his, I believe that was his 7th start of the season?
Yeah, for sure. And tonight, you know, there's probably the one short side goal on the slide that kind of got between him and the post that he wanted back. You could see he was a little bit frustrated after that one. But this was as good as he's been for 60 minutes, and you know, the one goal that he wanted back, he was downright dominant at times where everything looked simple. He was in the right spot. He was calm, collected. He was able to gobble up a lot of rebounds. You know, you look at the shots, and one thing I like about the shots is the fact that where most of their shots were coming from. I thought our shots were kind of in that inner slot area, and we were able to create, first, second, even third chances at times in that area. But Samuel was rock solid all night long, and the saves that he should have made and has to make, he did. And there were a few that you don't expect him to make that he made. So he was fantastic tonight, and it's an opportunity for him now to find a little bit of confidence and to build off this one, just like it is for our team as a group.
Last individual question here. Brock Bremer has a hat trick tonight, has also, I believe, a 4th point in there for an assist. We've talked about him. We've talked about him coming from a good team and being a veteran type guy, where he's hard to the puck, and he's not the biggest, but certainly a skill and hardworking guy. Again, we've touched on it a lot, but the new players coming in and making early impacts. I believe Ryan Doolin might have had a point tonight as well. If he didn't, he had a great screen on that first goal. And then, of course, Michael Colella scores as well. But Bremer especially seems to be settling in. Skinner with an assist as well in there. But what do you like now that you're getting these new guys in and seeing these quick results in terms of just what that can do for this team? Again, turning into that team that you want to see, being hard to play against.
Yeah, scoring confidence is huge. For Brock to have a night like he had tonight, those don't come around very often in this league, if ever, for some players. So he had a great night, and as well as Brock played, he was the beneficiary of Matthew Barbolini really elevating his game tonight. You look at the pace that he played with all night long. He was a difference maker right from the start tonight, and credit to Brock. He gets himself into the good spots. He stops at the net front. He is, he does things right. He plays hockey the right way, and he gets rewarded for it. So it's nice to have him get rewarded. It's nice to get a little bit of scoring confidence. You hope that he can start to ride that wave a little bit and continue. But ultimately, that line was great tonight. They all three had fantastic nights in their own different ways, but they were extremely productive. That had nothing to do with the score sheet all night long.
This is the last question here for you. You obviously have some history here with the Green Bay Gamblers as an assistant. What was that like just coming back now as a head coach?
It's great. I loved my time in Green Bay, and I credit Pat Mickish, their head coach, with a lot of my development as a coach. Ultimately, what gave me the ability to take this job with Lincoln was my time that I spent here in Green Bay and learning from Mick. And the organization is first class, top to bottom. Everyone from Ken Wachter, the head of PMI, to Brendan Bruss, the president of the team, Jeff Mitchell, who runs the business side. It's family, and it always will be family. Like I said, I loved my time here. My wife loved her job and the people that she met here. And Green Bay's a great city, and I'll always love coming back to Green Bay.
All right, Coach. Well, as always, we appreciate the time and look forward to talking to you next week.